Hello, friends. Susan Axelrod here, confidence coach. Hi, how are you today? How is your day going? It's only Tuesday. It's been raining and cold in the different places that I've been, and I was just talking to somebody else in another location and somebody else in another location. So I know that we're all getting hit with the residual of the Delta storm, I guess. So I hope that you have electricity, that you're okay, that you're able to get warm or stay warm, and be doing something meaningful, even if you have to be inside, and that meaningful thing is a nap. Give yourself permission if that's what you need to do. Today, I would like to ask you a question. Per usual, as you know, in coaching, a lot of the work is about asking questions and seeking answers. But you can, it's called self-coaching, by asking yourself questions and seeking your own answers. And I call this self-mastery. But my work here is to offer little tiny coaching mini workshops. And so, of course, I want to start with a question. How well do you make choices? How well do you make choices? This is a very important question. Making choices is not a skill that they teach in school. Making choices is not a skill that they teach in school, and many of us don't learn the skill of making choices growing up either. Now, in the more recent 20 to 30 years, there has been a new patterning of parenting, which is giving your children choices, asking them questions. Do you want this or this? Do you want this or this? And it was sort of ascertained that this was a way of helping your child make a choice. But it turns out that making choices inside extremely safe options, neither of which is bad, I'm not really sure that that is the most helpful, because in real life, as you grow up, a lot of times we have to make choices that are both difficult, right? The choice may be presented, a choice may be presented to you or shown to you or shoved at you that may be difficult on both sides. Choices are easy if one side is bad and the other side is good. That's not really a choice. You're like, boom, straight to the good, right? But often in real life as adults, the choices that are put to us are possibly between a rock and a hard place. So I ask you again, how well do you make choices? And the corollary to that is this. How are your decision-making skills? How are your decision-making skills? In some ways, my decision-making skills are extremely honed. Being a leader for decades of my life, I believe that I have innate qualities and characteristics of a leader. And so in some ways, it's come up innately. In other ways, I've been trained as a leader for a good portion of my life. In some ways, decision-making is easy for me. An example of this came up recently. You may have heard me speak about this already. Last week, a discussion came up, a messaging discussion inside my private Facebook group about journaling. And an idea came to me, and I thought of the idea. I thought it through very quickly. I got through it very quickly because I can process quickly. And I made a quick decision. With regard to my business and the nature of my work, because I'm in an intuitive business, and that's what I teach in my business development coaching, I teach intuitive business and intuitive business skills. When this idea came to me, I knew that it was a great idea. I knew it would be fun, and I knew it would be impactful. And I knew that I could make it happen myself very quickly and easily. So From the time that I thought of the idea to the time that I announced it was, I don't even think minutes went by. P.S. It also fit into my business plan. So if you have a business plan for your business, if you have goals set or a direction that you're going in, then it's sometimes easier to make decisions. So I decided that I would offer a women's workshop on journaling. And I did it in real time, and then I went and I set up the Zoom meeting, and then I started posting the Zoom meeting, and that was it. Now, because when it comes to decision making with regard to my business, I'm in my intuitive space. It is easier for me, and it's organic. So I didn't then worry about what I had done or what I had posted or promoted, because I knew, based on I could pick it up and show you a huge box of journals, that I have something to say and something of value to offer around journaling. So that was a quick and easy decision for me. For me, it wasn't really a choice. As soon as I thought of the idea, I went into decision-making mode. And that is a distinction that I could share with you as you consider these ideas and these questions for yourself. For me, I didn't really have to make a choice, because as soon as I thought of the idea, it slotted in, everything fell into place, and I'm like, oh, decision made. And so that was kind of easy for me. Other times I'm faced with choices, like you are, as any mere mortal human is, that are difficult. It feels like you're between a rock and a hard place. And I want to ask you again, how are your decision-making skills? And how well do you make choices? How good are you at actually making choices? Knowing yourself pretty well is one way that you can support the decision-making skills. I'll say that again. Knowing yourself is one way that you can support your decision-making skills. Trusting yourself is the result of that. If you know yourself well, then you can make a good decision for yourself, and you can trust the decision that you make. So did you get that progression there? If you're faced with a difficult choice, if you have a hard decision to make, then it helps when you've done some self-reflection work. It helps if you have done self-discovery. It's why my work in my cohort is called Discovering You Again. My cohort is women in the second half of life. Discovering you again, being in self-discovery, even for mature women who have lived for decades, is of great value. It helps you know yourself, and then it helps make choices a bit easier, because if you know yourself, if you reflect deeply for yourself, you can trust your decisions and you can really get through more easily. Hi Yvonne, thank you for joining me. Thanks for joining the workshop today. That was really fun. I'm talking today about choices and decision making. And I'm saying that these are not skills that are really taught in school, but they are skills that we learn in the hard knock of life, isn't it? Often, most of us are faced with choices, even day to day, and certainly very important choices on a regular and frequent basis. If you feel unconfident about making choices or your decision-making skills, then it's hard to trust yourself. Then you feel in this place where you have those butterflies in your stomach, or maybe a little fluttering in your chest, and you feel worried and maybe even elevated up to anxious, or you may feel bad, not good, and then you go down to depressed if you don't spend time in self-reflection. And so that's what I do here every day. I come here daily for my Live at 5 with the intention of provoking you to think more, think at all. And so that's why I come here and ask you questions like, how are you at making choices? And how good and strong are your decision-making skills? Now I want to show you something here. I haven't talked about my books in a long time for my Live at 5, but I feel like now is a very, very good time to show them to you again and share them with you again for the reason I'm about to tell you. This is my first book. It's called Your Job Is to Be. And what does it say? An anthology to inspire soul connection. The thing that I want to show you, I was actually reminded in my own workshop today, is that built in to my book is this opportunity to what? Contemplate. To contemplate. And contemplation, being contemplative, is one of the ways that you can improve your decision-making skills. Making decisions, quick decisions without strategic thought, without careful consideration, flying off the handle, making this, that, and the other decision, often leads to being uncomfortable. It leads to discomfort, and that leads to feeling unconfident. It leads to a total lack of confidence. Like, what am I doing? Oh my God, what did I get myself into? Well, if you contemplate, or in this book, my third book, which is called, can you see it? No, there it is, Dear Younger Self. Here it even says, an anthology to inspire self-reflection. And here on the thinking pages, it says self-reflections. So each brief chapter gives you an opportunity to actually contemplate or self-reflect. And this is all a very intentional part of my work. It's all, it's what I do on a regular basis myself. I don't talk about or ask you to do anything that I don't do myself. This is the nature of what I do every day. Today I was talking about journaling, and I took out scads of journals. Here's more different journals. they're right here because I just did my workshop today. And that's part of what journaling helps with. That's why I really wanted to do a workshop on journaling. And so that really can help you with the thing that I'm talking about today, which is choices and decision making. When you're faced with a difficult choice, it helps to spend some time in contemplation and self-reflection. Now, if you're a person of faith, your contemplation might include prayer. If you're a person who has mindfulness tools, your contemplation might include meditation. There's different ways, you can do this. There's different ways to learn. But any way, shape, or form that you choose, I want to encourage you to choose, to really give these ideas and thoughts consideration for yourself. Now more than ever, it is important. We are coming to the election of a lifetime, and I will not apologize for encouraging you to do some serious, deep self-reflection and contemplation about your own morals, your own character, your own values, and then to vote accordingly. I could tell you whom I want to vote for, or I could say, here's whom you should vote for. Doesn't really matter. Your job is to reflect on who you want to be and how you want to be, on your own values, on the values you would teach your children and your grandchildren, and then to make your own choices accordingly. So while there's every day now, living in the pandemic, we are faced with choices and decision making. I was just talking to my mom and also my friend earlier and saying, sometimes it's hard to know. you want to go see a friend. Okay, isn't it okay if we meet out on the back deck and for coffee and socially distance ourselves? Or, then, well, is it okay if we're inside and a door is open? You get some air flowing with masks, without masks. I mean, we are being faced with, honestly, decisions of a lifetime. Choices that are actually life or death. And so this discussion that I'm having with you today to encourage you to look at yourself and how you make choices is truly important. And it's important in so many ways. Personally, in our lives today, with decisions about the pandemic and many decisions resulting from the pandemic, loss of jobs, family members, community engagement, the economy, health, resources, all kinds of reasons that you may be faced with choices. And for you to consider, how good are your decision-making skills? Do you make good decisions for yourself? And I would add, for the world. I hope that you will. I hope that this live today inspires you to think and to think more. Choices that you're faced with, what are they? How do you face them? Decisions, how good are your decision-making skills? With that, I will take my leave. I will thank you for showing up live today. I love to see you live. I feel the energy of knowing that you're there. And if you're watching this by video, I would love to have you type in #replay so I know that you are here. Okay? All right, friends, that's all for today. I'll see you tomorrow for Live at 5. Bye-bye.